357 Magnum versus 344 Magnum, two of the most popular lever action chamberings available. But have you ever wondered which one's better? But for the sake of objectivity, we will compare these two cartridges to see which one could offer the best deal for lever action users. Hello everyone, this is Gun Fanatics, and in this video, we'll check out the specifications and performance of the 357 and 44 Magnum cartridges. This way, you can decide which one is better for you. Before we start, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps the channel a lot. Now, let's get back to the video. Specifications. Of course, we want to start this discussion by highlighting the specifications of both these two cartridges. For the parent case, the 357 Magnum has the 38 Special, and the 44 Magnum has the 44 S&W Special. For case type, the 357 Magnum is rimmed and straight, and the same thing is true with the 44 Magnum. The neck diameter of the 357 Magnum and 44 Magnum is 0.379 inches and 0.457 inches respectively. Their base diameter is 0.379 inches for the 357 Magnum and 0.457 inches for the 44 Magnum. The 357 Magnum has a rim diameter of 0.440 inches, while the 204 Magnum has 0.514 inches. These two cartridges share the same rim thickness of 0.06 inches. The E44 Magnum is slightly longer than the 357 Magnum, with lengths of 1.61 inches and 1.59 inches, respectively. Furthermore, the 44 Magnum ushers slightly higher pressure at 36,000 pounds per square inch as compared to the 35,000 pounds per square inch maximum pressure of the 357 Magnum. The case capacity of the 44 Magnum is also higher than the 357 Magnum. The 44 Magnum has 37.9 grains, while the 357 Magnum has 26.2 grains. Just by taking a look at the specifications of these two rounds, it's evident that the 44 Magnum is a more powerful round than the 357 Magnum. It also has so much power that it once held the title of being the most powerful handgun cartridge in the world. Although its reign was short, its accolade proves that it has relentless stopping power. As mentioned, the length of the two cartridges is almost the same, but since the 44 Magnum has a larger diameter, its capacity for propellant has increased by at least 40%. Furthermore, its wide casing allows for heavier and broader bullets. These are some of the factors that enhance the damage that it can generate on its target. Let's head to the ballistics department. Right from the get-go, we have to indicate that the 357 Magnum and 44 Magnum provide a wide array of ballistics. After all, there are multiple cartridges that you can choose from. Both of these rounds are available in varying bullet weights. For instance, the 357 Magnum is offered from 110 to 180 grains. Meanwhile, the V44 Magnum is offered for 180 to 300 grains. Of course, the difference in weight suggests that these rounds produce different muzzle velocities. Moreover, manufacturers can also load these cartridges to specific chamber pressures. Finally, we have to keep in mind that a round's ballistics are dependent on the barrel length of the gun. But of course, we can still make objective comparisons for the ballistic performance of the 357 Magnum and that 44 Magnum cartridges. Let's take the 357 Mag Horny Custom 158 grain XTP and the 144 Magnum Hornady Custom 240 grain XTP. The muzzle velocity of the 357 Magnum Hornady Custom is 1250 feet per second and 1350 feet per second for the 4 Mag Hornady Custom. The muzzle velocity at 50 yards of the 357 Mag Hornady Custom is 1149 feet per second and 1230 feet per second for the E14-4 Mag Hornady Custom. The muzzle velocity of the 357 Mag Hornady Custom at 100 yards is 1072 feet per second. It is 1133 feet per second for 44 Mag Hornady Custom. Their gone ballistic coefficient is 0.206 for the 357 Mag and 0.205 for the 44 Mag. The drop at 50 yards for the 357 Magnum is 2.67 inches and 2.3 inches for the 44 Mag. The drop at 100 yards for the 357 Magnum is 11.92 inches and 10.35 inches for the T4 Magnum. Meanwhile, the average muzzle energy for the 357 Magnum is 548 foot-pounds. It is 639 foot-pounds for the E44 Magnum. While the specifications I listed are accurate, they aren't the determining factors that could indicate which of the two cartridges has better ballistics performance. I have to emphasize that these two are just among the few variations that the 357 Magnum and the 44 Magnum can offer. But according to the average, the 357 Magnum does offer slightly better muzzle velocity than the G44 Magnum. Fundamentally, higher ballistic coefficients may reduce the bullet drop. In turn, this could result in straighter, flatter trajectories. However, both of these rounds don't give an impressive ballistic coefficient. Furthermore, neither of them will enable a shooter to have enhanced accuracy while shooting. Practicing and grit are the things that could help you with that. It's safe to say that the ballistic performance of these two cartridges should not really conclude that one is better than the other. The better comparison should be on the aspect of recoil and stopping power. Stopping power. When it comes to stopping power, energy is an important aspect, and between the two cartridges, the 44 Magnum generates more energy. Even firing at 100 yards, the heavier and larger bullet of the 44 Magnum can inflict more damage to its target than a 357 Magnum round within the same distance. But of course, this doesn't mean that the 357 Magnum is a weak cartridge. Those people who say that are actually foolish. In close ranges, this particular round can transfer over 500 FTLBs of energy to its target. In the context of self-defense, such power is already higher than what is recommended. Surely enough, its target could receive fatal damage. Going back, the 44 Magnum has better penetration than the 357 Magnum. Well, that's not surprising anymore, considering that its bullet is heavier. With a heavier bullet, the round can produce enhanced sectional density and momentum. By the way, sectional density measures how much a projectile can penetrate an object. However, you can't really see the difference between the penetrating power of these two cartridges in day-to-day cases. You may only notice the difference if you hunt bears or large games. Keep in mind that the 44 Magnum is known for over-penetrating. There's a risk in this, especially if there are bystanders around. Finally, we have the recoil. This is also an important consideration when we compare the 357 Magnum and the 44 Magnum cartridge. A heavier recoil could make things inconvenient for the shooter. Furthermore, it increases the time needed to realign your aim for follow-up shots. So if the recoil is explosive, accuracy and consistency decrease exponentially. Furthermore, the recoil of these two cartridges isn't that scary, but between them, I can say that the E44 Mag has a stronger kick. Recoil depends on various factors: firearm weight, bullet weight, propellant charge weight, and bullet velocity. In this video, allow me to assume that 357 Magnum rounds have 10 grains of propellant charges. Meanwhile, the 44 Magnum rounds come with 15 grains. Of course, give me the chance to assume that we are using the Ruger GP 100 to shoot the 357 Magnum rounds and a Magnum Red Hawk for the Tafferty 4 rounds. With these specifications, the following comparison will be derived. A 357 Mag Hornady Custom 158 Gear-X TP generates 7.77 foot-pounds of recoil energy. A 357 Magnum American Eagle 158 grain JSP generates 7.68 foot-pounds of recoil energy. A 44 Magnum Hornady Custom 240 grain X TP generates 14.96 foot-pounds of recoil energy. A 44 Magnum American Eagle 240 grain JHP generates 12.88 foot-pounds of recoil energy. Based on the data, it's evident that 44 Magnum rounds have stronger kicks than their counterparts. Despite the superior specifications of the 34 rounds, the 357 Magnum remains to be the most popular. The answer is easy. This cartridge lets you carry a light lever action. It doesn't have excessive recoil, which is essential for self-defense, but at the same time, it still possesses sufficient stopping power to tackle targets. On the other hand, you may use a 44 Magnum for larger-than-human targets, such as bears and dangerous games. A 44 Mag is the choice of individuals traversing on bear country. If you want to see more informative videos like this, just click the subscribe button and notification bell. Take care and stay safe.